perfect. It's really cool. You can adjust that cable setup, winter lighting. All right, guys, welcome to Limitless, episode number 3. Full day in the life in Dubai. So it's not very different to my normal life, to be honest. As much as we're in this lovely loft space, and we're not in Rotherham, which, by the way, is lovely, of course, but you know, this is a little different. And yeah, my normal routine really hasn't changed too much at all. So this morning, you will have pretty much seen it all. We actually had, obviously, Josh here right early morning this morning, so we got pretty much everything that I normally do. So I woke up at around about 4:45, shower. I do like 2 really quick rounds of posing in the bathroom, which I don't really look at, but it's more so just for habit creation and just getting in that routine that I actually set up during prep. Because one thing with routines I think is key, I want for people to take home from this video, is that the moment you slip out of one aspect of your routine, everything tumbles down, realistically, for a lot of people. It's like Jenga. You know, you pull away something and it might be the right thing and you might still be able to play, it might be the wrong thing, the whole thing's fucked and you lose. So it's a bit of an analogy for routine. So I do that still to make sure that every other step that follows that is in sync. So a couple of rounds of posing, obviously just get fresh, get dressed, whatever, come downstairs, which is nice actually. In an environment, I really do like an upstairs and a downstairs, because it separates like parts of your day and routine. So I found it really difficult when I lived in Birmingham, which some people may know. I lived in like a 2-bedroom flat, and like there's no upstairs downstairs, so you don't separate aspects of your day in terms of levels. So if I was ever going to have a place like in a city, I'd probably try and grab a loft because they're mint. So come downstairs, get 1.5 litres of water. It would ideally be Evian water, to be honest. I mean, this Nestle stuff is all right, but Evian's the one, as probably people will agree. So I put Hydromax, Scuba Hydromax. JP hasn't got a hydration formula just yet, but when he does, I'll be using that. And then I put glutamine in there as well. I find that glutamine itself, a lot of people like poo-poo the idea of using glutamine, but I like it from a perspective of, I don't think I've ever really been sick. I think there's a slight immune system benefit from using glutamine. I've never really been sick when I've been using glutamine consistently, so I think there's some slight benefit there. But at the same time, the main reason for that drink, the main reason for it is having 1.5 litres of water pretty efficiently with some flavoured products in there, and obviously the hydration formula to get me hydrated, because the big thing that has changed in my routine, as you will see, is my time of training, which I'll discuss in a bit. Now I have a coffee, pure and simple there, just caffeine, just get focused for work, and then I won't have looked at my phone from that whole point that I woke up. My alarm went off if I needed it, which often I don't. So all of that morning routine, I won't look at my phone. Definitely won't look at Instagram. And you will have seen me like post up my story thing, but I literally will go onto Instagram, flick left to do the story, whack it on, and then come straight off. I don't absorb, I don't consume anything besides water and caffeine in the mornings, because I want my full attention, my full absorb, like what I absorb is my client work. So I find if I absorb DMs or questions or like story replies or whatever on Instagram, that's my cognitive ability, that's my brain function, like being not wasted but being used on something that's not as productive and not as important, to be honest, as my clients. So these guys get my full attention. I've just replied to Max, who for some reason seems to be featured on every single day in their life. So probably people think that I've only got one client. But Max is always okay with little bits of his check-ins being shared. So obviously I can't do that for everyone because that would not be fine with them. So Max is all good with it. So we share a little bit of Max, who's doing great, by the way. So he's just in a little bit of a clean-up phase at the moment, and he's previously competed as a teenager, so he'll be back as a junior in years to come, and he'll be back with a lot more muscle as well, so I'm excited for him. And I use Loom anyone who's interested in terms of my client responses. So I use a screen recording app called Loom. It's been a bit temperamental out here actually. I think I need a VPN for it to work like really efficiently, but other than that, you know, the Wi-Fi is mint here and I'm able to get feedbacks done really efficiently. The other thing you'll have seen me do this morning for my clients is reply to form clips. So obviously I go to bed here about 9:30. So when I go to bed, there's still, it's like, what is it? Work 4 hours back from the UK. So a lot of people are still messaging me. So I wake up, I'll wake up and I'll have about 35 to 40 messages from WhatsApp. And I will just work my way through them with either voice note replies, as you will have seen for the form clips, or text replies, depending on what they've sent me, whether it's just a general question, whatever. And all my clients do have me on WhatsApp, and all of them are very respectful in terms of the fact that not every coach will give a client a WhatsApp number, because it's a very personal thing having your clients all on your phone. So yeah, that's a little bit of an insight into my morning. We will now update you as we get along with the day. Me and Loz are both checking in today in terms of just progress photos, and we will show you a little bit of that. And of course, we'll take you through every meal, because I'm sure there are tons of questions about what I'm eating out here. So you'll see that it's not too exciting, but we'll try and make it as fun as possible. So enjoy, guys, and any questions, of course, throughout the episode, put them in the comment section and I will get back to you. So we're at meal one, and it is basically 250 grams of egg whites, which is about 6-7 egg whites. So I've worked that out now, so I just use 7. And then we have, from a liquid perspective, the iced Americano, which actually is a cold brew, not an iced Americano, which is definitely a level up from the iced Americano. So I'm enjoying those. And then we've got 100 grams of oats, 150 grams of raspberries with cinnamon. I would usually have maybe a little bit of banana on that, but the bananas aren't ripe yet, so we're waiting on those. And then 20 grams of dark chocolate. So this meal's, we can probably put the macros if you wish, but I think it's about 700 calories. Works out about 70-75 grams of carbs. About perfect for a pre-training meal. I would usually have cream of rice, but I only bought a kilo of the JP stuff out with me, so I ran out like really quick. So went over to oats, and luckily enough, because I'm post-show, my digestion is really good. I can actually have them pre-workout with no problems at the moment. That's a move into the latter portion of the off-season. I think something like that heavy probably won't sit too well over sort of the next 3 months. I'll be able to have them, but then we'll have to start sort of drip feed them out. But yeah, we'll train probably around about an hour after eating this. So me and Loz just sort of sit down, watch a bit of YouTube. I think we're going to watch Cam's latest video actually. So we'll watch that and let it digest for a little bit, have the caffeine, and then get off to the gym.
There is a salak, yeah? Or there is, if we buy something, there is a VAT, yeah? But if you want to laugh, no VAT, no salak. So laugh. It's bloody free. I always said I'm the luckiest person in the world. Why? The people pay me, and they teach me, and they make me happy.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Ooh la la. No, my what? He started. Jesus Christ.
that was something I've never experienced before.
That guy.
Alright guys, we are here at Banus for Paul. I'm in with Loz today, so we'll be going through this same session together, and I believe that we have got RDLs on the table today, so that will be good. And as you will have just seen, I believe Josh got some video of it. That was the most interesting Uber drive I've ever had in my entire life. That guy's energy is just fucking insane. I think by the end of the day he must be smashed to smithereens from all the laughter, but I feel in a very good mood now, which is nice. And yeah, we'll take you into an edit. Won't take you through a full session today because we're focusing on the day itself, a day in my life. So you'll just see a little bit of it, and we'll crack on. See you in a bit.
We at war, we don't know what for. They made up a reason behind closed doors. At the end of the season, we leave, make an enemy bleed. Hit the seashore with the C4. We don't record, we just reload. If you need more, it's a cheat code with unlimited rounds. When you hear the sound start hitting the ground, it's time to go make America proud. But this ain't as fun as what they claim it be. This ain't a video game, you see. It's the kids same age as me, see from the same place as me. Now the bloodstain stays with me. I'm homesick and I miss my mom. I can't sleep, I'm living with this trauma. I wanna just believe the dogma, but I can't think it much longer. Tell me what I'm supposed to think when the bullets start to pour. Lying about so great or good when you send me off to war. Does it dead on either side? It's the on, keep it score. I just wanna make it home when you send me off to war. When you send me off to war. Yeah. Watch me spend these billions bombing these civilians, making enemies out of children. Am I the good guy? Am I the villain? I go back and forth, chameleon. My partner next to me, he was 23 when he went out to check the scene, and he stepped on an IED. Goddamn, Teflon, got a bulletproof vest on, but I still wanna hide and flee. Stuff that died inside when I wondered why they caught him and not me. This shit ain't always what it seemed. When they change in the regime, better wake me from this crazy dream, living in the war machine. Tell me what I'm supposed to think when the bullets start to pour. Lying about so great or good when you send me off to war. Does it dead on either side? It's the on, keep it score. I just wanna make it home when you send me off to war. Send me off to war. Send me off to war. Send me off to war.
Yes, sir.
Soon as I turned 18, try to wash my hands, never gonna get them clean. Follow my command, do or die, no in between. Try to wash my hands, never gonna get them clean. Look around and start World War III.
So we are about midway through the back session so far. It's gone pretty well. Didn't manage to fall over on RDLs this week, so that's a win. But yeah, 184.10 was my top set, and then I did a pause back off with 160. I think the RDL for me will be a movement that I will definitely progress a little bit better when I'm back at home, just because I'm very used to specific bar, specific plates, and like in terms of the diameter of plates. I know it sounds like very specific, but the diameter of the plates and also the width and the bar, which means the flexibility of the bar, will massively change how an RDL feels. So these RDLs here feel like very different to when I'm using a power bar and thinner plates back home. So obviously we got the good news actually literally like the other day about the gyms reopening on the 2nd December. So when we get back on the 9th, we'll obviously go straight back into the normal routine, which is just absolutely ideal. So I look forward to getting after one of my off-season goals, which is a 220 RDL. which I definitely think is possible. So just gotta set the basis for that. Okay guys, so we just wrapped up pull. Really good session overall, and nice to see a little bit of like 1 or 2 rep progressions on the baseline numbers that I set in the original RDL session that I did actually with Cam probably 2 weeks ago now, yeah, like 10 days, almost 2 weeks. So good to feel a little bit more energetic in sessions now. However, when I pose, like I can definitely tell I've got a few things going on which is like harder to look at, which is part of the post-competition period. So number one is that even though my weight's staying sort of stable, because I'm in a slight surplus, the look is just like a bit softer across the board. Like I'm still detailed and still conditioned for like the most part, but it's lost that sharpness. So you actually end up looking smaller, which is kind of a big head fart, because you enter the off season expecting to be bigger, and you start looking a bit smaller after like you settle into the swing of things post competition. And also I've got the variable of like being in heat pretty much all day, training in a hotter environment, sitting in the sun, which I think Jimmy also found this, Jimmy Tong as well, that's kind of made me hold a little bit of fluid as well, just from the adaptation of the heat. So yeah, and I'm consuming a way more fluid than I would do at home. So a few different variables at play, but I'm still happy with where I'm at. And the majority of the time, like during this trip, the main goal was to make sure that I was having some form of progressive stimulus, make sure that I didn't beat myself up too much, so I didn't come back trashed, which I've done so far, and get a tan. And then also just ensure that I don't basically blow my off-season start point. Because right now I'm like still recovering from the prep, so it's going to take a little bit of time for me to transition into actually growing and adding tissue. So yeah, but it is what it is. I wouldn't say that I'm overly pumped about the way that I look at the moment, but that's not a problem, because the main thing is what's happening in the gym right now. So that's got to be the focus. So we're gonna get our way back to our apartment and eat our post-workout there, which is part of our routine. And yeah, we'll see you back at the apartment. Okay guys, welcome back to the apartment. We are at the post-workout meal, which is meal number 2, kind of meal number 3. It is definitely my third outfit of the day though, so I hope you've noticed that. And it's only 1 PM, changed 3 times. I'm sure there'll be some comments about that, so I thought I'd just cover it. So supplementation wise at this meal, I would take my Halocon from Trained by JP. This essentially is an all-round calming post-workout supplement. So you probably heard me talk about it before and pronounce it in several different ways. But essentially the ingredients in it, primarily the KSM66 ashwagandha, which is an adaptogen which will help your body come from a stress state when you train to a relaxed state, so you can start to digest your food well and calm down from a training session, bring that resting heart rate down. Same for magnesium, which is a mineral, which will have a calming effect as well on the nervous system. So that is why we're taking this supplement. We're not just taking it because we're sponsored or anything like that. I was taking ashwagandha and magnesium on their own in more expensive forms before I actually started using Halocon. I have more Hydromax in here, more glutamine, again just more fluid coming on board, and then I have 100 grams of raw weight rice and 150 grams of raw weight chicken, very kindly cooked by Loz last night. We tend to prep meals like the day before, and Loz is very helpful with that. And then I have about 150 grams worth of raspberries and blueberries here as well. Do not worry about fruit in the post-workout window, guys. Fructose is not going to do much harm within this window of time. I know a lot of people talk about carbohydrate uptake and fructose, but the reality is the amount of fructose you'd have to actually consume in this window of time would be catastrophically high for it to be worrying. Likewise, a lot of people will look at that and say, you're not worried about the antioxidants in the fruit? No, because the same thing applies. You'd have to have a shit ton of fruit to be worried about the antioxidants. To basically, the reason why people will be worried is because antioxidants do have an anti-inflammatory effect, and we do want to avoid anything really that is anti-inflammatory in the post-workout window, because inflammation is part of the hypertrophic process. So that's why a lot of people will be scared of fruit, fructose and antioxidants, but that amount of fruit will not do you any harm. So don't be scared of fruit. It tastes nice and it goes well with this meal. Again, usually would actually have cream of rice at this particular meal, but again, I've run out, so it's the first thing I'm looking forward to when I get back. But yeah, I will typically get on with a little bit of work now, catch up on any messages that have started to come through from the UK guys and girls waking up, and then we will pack up a bit. So the reason why I'm changed is because we will actually head out and enjoy some of the sun during the day, so that then around about sort of 5 PM when the sun goes down is when I'll come back and start my sort of second shift of work. So yeah, we'll take you through the rest of the meals, the rest of the day, and we'll see you in a bit. Alright guys, so as you can see, we are at the beach. This is where we come pretty much most days when I haven't got a crazy amount of work. If I need to be in the apartment to get work sort of done, obviously I will prioritise that. Like I said, always the priority is the clients. But today is the day where I can come down here. I can get some work done on my phone with the Wi-Fi that they've got here. Usually that's making notes on people's check-ins they send across through voice note or video, and then when I get back to the apartment, I'll just get my laptop out and reply to them all in one go. It actually tends to work really well, because I do get back to pretty much all of them in the exact same time that I would in the UK, and obviously at the same time I get some sunlight exposure, which is good. So yeah, I love it down here, and this is definitely probably the biggest thing that I'll miss when we go back to the UK, is just being able to have sun. You know, sunlight in itself is so good for you, and obviously spending a little bit of time like actually dedicated with Loz in this environment is mint. So gonna take it all in today. We've got 2 more weeks here, so make the most of it, get a little bit more colour, so we can be tan for Christmas. Make sure Loz doesn't burn too much, and yeah, we'll speak to you in a bit. Alright guys, so that is going to be the end of the day in the life. It's not quite the end of the day, of course. I've got basically a couple more meals left, which are pretty much the same as you've seen all day. I keep my diet very simple whilst I'm out here. So I've got actually 2 more meals, which are chicken and rice. Very much similar to the one that you saw post-workout, just a little bit lower in quantity. And then obviously I've got my last pre-bed meal, which is still the same as it was in prep actually. Just yogurt again with frozen fruit, and a little bit of whey and dark chocolate. So those are my sort of final meals of the day. We might do a full day of eating before we leave, don't know, but those are the meals if you are interested. And yes, pretty much finishing up another couple of hours here. I've literally just woken up from a tiny nap, trying not to fall asleep too often, and also just getting back to a few form clips from clients. And then, like I said, when we get back to the apartment around about 6 PM, I tend to work from, well, it's normally about 5 PM. I tend to work from about 5 PM to about 7:30. And then we wrap up for the day and get to bed nice and early. So that's how the day looks out here. If you are a coach in the UK and you are wanting a getaway to somewhere hot, somewhere with a bit of sun, I do definitely recommend coming out here. It's somewhere where even if you are at a high workload, you will feel just so much more relaxed, regardless of how busy your day could be. If my days are crazy busy in the UK, I'm sometimes thinking, how the hell am I managing my workload and like still being able to do things like this? But it's just because of really good time management and just generally being quite stress-free. So loving it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll look forward to bringing a few more episodes before we do leave, and then of course cracking into the actual off-season routine, which will be set up when we get back into the UK on the 10th of December. So look forward to that. Alright guys, chat to you soon. Thanks for watching. Give it a like, comment for any questions, and we'll see you next time.